Here is the second questionnaire. Language is the ability to acquire and use a complex system of communication, particularly the human ability to do so. And a language is any specific example of such a system. The scientific study of the language is called linguistic. Two skills the student must acquire in order to master the sound system of language are listening and speaking. Phonetics, from the Greek phone, sound voice, is a branch of linguistics that comprises the study of the sounds of human speech, or in the case of sign languages, the equivalent aspect, sign. Acoustic phonetics is the study of the physical transmission of the speech sounds from the speaker to the listener. Articulatory phonetics is the study of production of the speech sounds by the articulatory and the vocal tract by the speaker. Auditory phonetics is the study of the reception and perception of speech sounds by the listener. Phonology is the study of the speech sounds in language. The sounds themselves, how they are produced, and how they work together as a system in a particular language. A phoneme are distinctive sounds of a language, the sounds that native speaker of the language considers to be separate sounds. Every language has its own set of phonemes. Not two languages have exactly the same set. Minimal pairs is a set of two words that are exactly the same except for one sound. For example, bought, vote, sat, sad, paper, and pepper. Allophones are different sounds or pronunciation of the same word that still means the same and that belong to the same phoneme. For example, in the word butter, we can make the T sound in different ways. The speech is produced in the articulatory system. The airflow to support the speech is provided by the lungs. The larynx is that part of the vocal tract that comes immediately on top of the trachea windpipe and is coextensive with it. The vocal cords are two small membranes in the throat that produce the sound of the voice. The glottis is a space between the vocal cords. The principal source of modification of the airstream is issuing from the lungs, from the larynx, is the initiator. Is the tongue. The difference between a voice sound and a voiceless sound is that a voice sound is when the vocal cords are stretched tight, so they vibrate during pronunciation of a song. And voiceless sounds are sounds that are produced without vibration of the vocal cords. The part of the throat and the lower head that are accessible to the airstream can be divided in supraglottal, suprahyoid, infraglottal, or infrahyoid. The larynx keeps the passage open for the passage of the air during respiration and indigestion, and it's the key organ for the production of the sounds. The pharynx, or pharyngeal cavity, it's an organ extended from the top of the trachea and the esophagus, past the epiglottis and the roof of the tongue to the region of the rear soft palate. The epiglottis has function as an articulator in the production of the pharyngeal consonant and the vowel. The greatest source of modification of the airstream is the initiator. The articulators are several or the organs that that moves in various ways to change the size and the shape ways of the open part of the vocal tract and produce all of the sounds in English or any other language. And they are the lips, the teeth, the alveolar ridge, the hard palate, the tongue, the nasal cavity, and the lower jaw. The tongue is divided in three parts: tip, blade, and back of the tongue. Place of articulation are the parts of articulatory system that are active when we produce each sound, especially in classification of consonants. According to the place of articulation, the consonants are classified in bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, palatal, velar, and glottal. Manner of articulation is used to distinguish between similar sounds that are produced in the same place of articulation. This tells us how we produce a particular consonant sound, whether it comes out smoothly or rudely, whether it's like a pop or a hiss or a hum. According to manner of articulation, consonants are classified in stops, fricatives, nasal, liquids, and glides. Tongue actions in consonant. In this case, different parts of the tongue are involved in consonant. The sound T, the tip of the tongue is used. In the sound of H, however, it's the back of the tongue that is involved. The tongue can assume various positions. One special case is the curling of the tongue backwards so that its underside faces the roof of the mouth. This is the case of the retroflex sounds like or. The three basic positions of the lips are spread, rounded, and neuter. The teeth participate in the production of the sound in the next three ways. Place of articulation. The teeth interact with the tongue in dental sounds. The teeth also interact with the tongue in interdental sounds. Sounds in which the tongue tip is produced between the upper and the lower teeth. They also participate in the displays of articulations like labiodentalization, in which case the lower tips made to move backwards to interact with the upper teeth.